Story time on how I found out that my son's father has a baby with his blood sister. Not that this makes it any better, but they don't have the same mom. They do have the same dad. Now, I can only tell my point of view from this. I can't tell his or her point of view. I'm only going to be telling what I experienced and what I've learned from that situation, which I am no longer in. And it took me years to get away from. So I met my child's father when I was 17. He was 20 at the time. I was a few months away from aging out of foster care, and I was considered a runaway. Me and him got serious.
We got another banger for y'all today, man. It's just completely nasty. Nasty, but it's the type of stuff that's going on these days. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I ain't gonna hold y'all for too long. Let's get to the video. My baby daddy has a baby with his own blood sister. True story. You feel me? Let's get to it.
And I moved in his mom's house with him. First dumb mistake. When we first started talking, I asked him more than once, do you have any kids? Mind you, I don't have any kids, and I don't want to talk to anybody with kids. Time and time again, he told me, no, he doesn't have any kids. He's young, he's selling his green stuff, and yeah. I'm only mentioning that because at that moment, when I asked more than once, that's when he should have mentioned, hey, I do have a kid. Not that he had to go into detail about how he had the kid, but I did want to know. And I genuinely feel like if he told me, hey, I do have a kid, me and him were never going to be a thing. Like I said, I don't talk to people with kids. So that's where a lot of my frustration came from after I found out what I found out. Fast forward, I find out that I'm pregnant with my son. And all I remember is one night, him coming into the house, and he told me that he had to talk to me. Now, I assume something was eating him up. We actually took a walk around the neighborhood, and he was really fidgety. He kept telling me how he had to tell me something. Now, at this point, I had been around his family. I had pretty much met everybody involved in his family. I met his brothers, I met his sister, and I did remember that his sister had a kid. The little girl was probably 6 or 7. So, of course, I was thinking that's his niece. When he's telling me he has to tell me something, he was really fidgety. So because of how fidgety he was, I'm like, bro, just spit it out. Like, what are you about to say? Because clearly it's something crazy. He proceeds to say, you know the little girl that I call my niece? And instantly, I thought, oh my gosh, did he touch her? But what he was about to say next, I was not ready for it. He proceeded to say, the little girl that I call my niece, that's not my niece, that's my daughter. So me still being like, okay, that's your daughter. I'm still not ready for what he's about to tell me. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, you had a kid young and you sent her to live with your sister. But then he confirmed that that was his child that him and his sister had when they were 12 years old. I just remember my mind going blank. My heart dropped. I instantly thought, what the fuck did I get myself into? Looking at him, I was disgusted. I was confused. I was lost. I was even more upset because I'm like, I'm pregnant now. You could have told me that before we got serious. And still giving him the benefit of the doubt. You didn't even have to go into detail. You didn't have to.
I honestly just feel like you definitely should have shared that when you first met her, bro. Like, you don't lead nobody on for that long. And then just pop out, just boom, hit somebody with that bombshell, bro. That's nuts. You feel me? That's just nasty. It's crazy, but 12 years, bro. Ain't no excuses. It's just nasty and crazy. That's all I'm gonna say.
Tell me that deep secret when we first met. All you had to tell me was that you had a kid. At that point, I remember waking up every single morning, crying my eyes out. It was something that would not get out of my head for weeks. All I could think about is how I'm about to have a kid with somebody who has a kid with their sister. As time went on, everything felt like a demonic hold on my life. I felt like I was now attaching myself to a cursed family. Not to mention, something that really stuck with me was the fact that the sister that he has the baby with, she has the same exact birthday as me. Everything felt like a curse. His mom wanted me to settle with the idea that I was now going to be 18, 19 years old, a new mom and a stepmother to his daughter. His mom was trying to push marriage on us so much. After I had my son, she wanted us to have another kid. And at that moment, I just knew this is not something I want to be a part of. Now, what his mom and his dad and his sister's mom went through, I look at that as also a curse. So it felt like she was trying to suck me in so deep that I would not have any way out. Nothing ever went right in that relationship, ever, for years. And
It sounds like the mom is part of the problem too. Cause I'm like, how you egging this on? Like you must like the fact that he got a baby by the blood sister. You know what I'm saying? And then you just bringing it on her, like telling her to continue on. Like that ain't crazy. You know what I'm saying?
That's how I knew this is not for me. It's never going to be for me. As much as I want a normal life, a normal relationship with this person, it will never be that. Because always in the back of my head, I always went back to thinking how I shouldn't be in this situation in the first place. When people say like you cannot properly love somebody without loving their kid, that's true. I was weirded out by everything. I was disgusted by everything. I did not trust him around his sister, and his family tried their hardest to make me feel comfortable with the fact that he has a kid with his sister. It was something I just was never okay with. I was never going to be okay with. I remember at one point even telling him, like, when my son gets older, I would prefer if he knows her as his cousin instead of his sister, because it's just too much confusion and it's too many questions that's going to be asked. And I don't even want to like open that door for my son to think anything like that is okay. Mind you, they felt some type of way when I said that. They told me how selfish it was and how I was not right for wanting to call them cousins instead of brother and sister. Not to mention, my son's father always has an excuse when it comes to the little girl. He would go months without talking to her, even though they stayed in the same city. He would barely see her, and he pretty much just acted like she didn't exist. His mom would even have to make him go get the little girl birthday gifts to bring over to her on her birthday. He was never the praying type. It's like the biggest, darkest cloud is over his life. And it's just not something I wanted to be attached to. And it's not something I want my son to be attached to. So I did what I thought was right, and I took my son away from all of that. Like I'm going to keep saying, it's demonic. It's not something I am okay with. As humans, we're going to make mistakes. It's up to us to acknowledge things and try to turn things around. And I never got that vibe or that behavior from him. He kind of had like a it is what it is mentality. His mindset was kind of like, I fucked over my own life, did something, that I was not supposed to do, and it is what it is. I got to live with it. I'm not trying to better my life. And I'm going to ruin everybody else's life that enters my life. And that's just no role model for my son. That's just not something I want my son growing up thinking is okay. And I'm just happy that I got as far as away from all that as possible. Do I feel bad at times? Yes. But do I know that it's for the better? Yes. As my son's parent, it's my job to break generational curses. It's my job to set boundaries, even if it's with his father. And at the end of the day, I can only control what I do. I can only control my child. As far as living righteous, that's all that I'm about. I grew up as a messed up child. I myself, as an adult, decided to not hold on to that and turn my life completely around. So why would I want to raise a messed up child? I want my child to be the best version of himself possible. Incest is something I would not support at all. And I don't care who doesn't like it. At the end of the day, this is going to be the child that I have to raise and the child that I take care of. Unfortunately, I wish this was a fake story time. I wish I was just lying for clickbait. I wish this was something that was a dream. But because this is real, a lot of people that might have an idea of who I'm talking about or know who my child's father is, they are already on board and they already know exactly who I'm talking about, and they know it's not a lie. This is one of the messages I received. Y'all can pause to read it. Just an example of why I don't feel bad about telling, my point of view on here. And that's exactly why nobody cannot be mad about me telling my point of view on here. Because it's something that they're promoting. Mind you, you don't know who knows me. For example, that person that I just showed y'all in this screenshot. All it took was for her to see my son in the picture to know, oh shit, that's Kari's son. I know Kari. It's embarrassing. So to be doing hair and telling your client willingly that you have a baby.
All right, well. Wow. I just can't fault her for like separating herself completely, because that's like she said, that like he got a dark spirit on him, but I feel like he definitely have to have a dark spirit on him for him to even do something like that. You know what I'm saying? And for him to accept it the way he accepted it, that's, to me, that's nasty and just crazy. I really don't know how if I was like in her position, I don't know how I would handle that. I think at the moment that I would have found out, I would have literally separated myself completely. And I think that's what she did. But it wouldn't even been a conversation after that. It's just like, yeah, I'm out of here, bro. Y'all weird. Y'all on some weird stuff, bro. And that's what it seems like to me. It seems like it seems like a big weird situation. And I don't do weird. You feel me? Like if I'm around a group of people and I just get a weird vibe, I'm gone, bro. I'm not finna stick around for this. You know what I'm saying? But y'all let me know in the comments what y'all would have done and how y'all would have handled that situation. Or if y'all know of any situations like that. You know, but I've never in my whole 32 years of living ever experienced anything like that in real life or know of anyone who went through something like that personally. Yeah, that's just crazy to me. But yeah, y'all tell me what y'all think about that video in the comments, man. See you guys next video. Always remember, be safe out here, kings and queens. Let's keep